Erika is a proud Mexican woman held by the warm memories of her family and her people. She moved to Canada to pursue her master's degree in art education, arriving with 2 suitcases and her pole. She didn't know then how much it would hold her through an unexpected global pandemic, but she did know it would become a medicine for life, a companion in her journey of being away from home and discovering herself. In Vancouver, she also became a doula, and through that journey, she discovered a deep curiosity and commitment to menstrual and women's health education. The flows of life and love eventually brought her to Ottawa, where finding EmbodiPole felt like discovering a gem. It resonated deeply with the way she grounds her doula work and her pole embodiment practice, rooted in sensation, presence, and the embrace of her inner force. Welcome to Embodi Your Wild. I'm your host, Carolyn LaFortune, and I'm an embodiment guide. I'm a mother of 2. I'm a studio owner of EmbodiPole in Ottawa, and I'm here to have real conversations about how to tap into your wildness or erotic power, into your aliveness. Let's fucking go. Welcome, Erika. I'm so happy to have you on here. Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you. I'm happy to be here too. I'm excited.
Yeah. I brought you on here because I feel like each EmbodiPole coach brings such a unique approach to embodying their wild. So I would love to hear all about your journey, all about this pole evolution and embodiment work. What made you become a doula and work with women's health?
Okay, so I became a doula in Vancouver, kind of like as an accident. I was interpreting for the Spanish speaking community that didn't speak English. And I started volunteering with a group of midwives. So I started interpreting, and then there was lots of births that were happening at home. And I could not be just interpreting when there was this action happening, and then this beautiful action too. So it started like that. I was an interpreter, a volunteer interpreter. That's not even what I do. And at that time also, my sister was pregnant and she was having her second child, and I was away from home, and we're very, very close. So those things coming together made me become a doula. I started questioning things. I started asking questions to the midwives. How could I support better the work? And slowly I met lots of people that were in the health world, in the birth work world as well. And then I started my certification. Yeah.
Awesome. And we also led the womb portal together, which was last November.
Yes, we did. And I think that was another thing that when I started at EmbodiPole, it was something else like that kind of like brought us together. Yes, it was the pole, but also this type of work and this passion that we both had and that we really wanted to explore and share with the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a beautiful experience.
Yeah. And what was it about EmbodiPole that really caught your attention? And you're like, this is it.
So when I read EmbodiPole, it was just beginning to be, I know it was a transformation from where it was before.
Yeah.
But for me, that was exactly where I was. So I began polling many years ago in Mexico. I was a coach there as well. But I think similar to you, I started doing more of the acrobatic stuff, and then that was kind of the goal back then. My pole journey is like follows me, right? As where I'm at. That's how it has been throughout my life. So moving to Canada, doing masters, I stopped doing pole that way. And what really saved me was the movement of it. I had a very small space, the way I was just dancing around it, right? And I love that, like that flow. So when I read the description of EmbodiPole, it was like, this is the place. This is actually what I have to give in this moment. This is kind of my strength.
Yeah. It's so awesome too, because you came right at the beginning, January 2024. And that was right as we rebranded. It was like we hadn't even been open like 1 week, I think. And it was already like, okay, great. We have somebody who's already on track, who's already in alignment with this new vision. let's go.
Yeah. No, I remember, and I love the space, the energy, like since the first time, like I came in.
Yeah. And it's evolved so much ever since.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how has your journey been with this evolution of the studio?
Yeah. That's an interesting question because I see you and like that's the way, like that's how I know you, like in this place, making it be what you want it to be, right?
Right.
And I remember you said this is like when we were all the coaches, like this is the place where I want it to be. Like I don't know, like
Mhm.
recently, and yeah, I have seen it, and I think it's like kind of giving birth as well. You were just giving birth when I met you, and then there's like this whole like, and you are a mom, so you know this, right? So this beginning of like, this is crazy. Like, what did I get into? What am I gonna
Oh,
do, right?
yeah.
So the same thing in the studio. We're like, what did I do, right? Like, just change all of this that I had,
Yeah.
like all this already grounded, and now like this, and then like slowly, how you just kind of like gave yourself into it, and when it became part of who you are as well, EmbodiPole started being this that you can play with it and do what
Mhm.
you are, what you want it to be, and trust that, right? And that's what it is.
Oh my god, it's so true. I
Yeah,
never thought of it that way, but it's like, yeah, it's so comparable to birth
yeah,
because
it,
yeah, it's like I birthed the studio and I remember the journey of like birthing my babies. It's exactly the same or similar feelings and of like,
yeah,
what the fuck just happened?
exactly, exactly.
And yeah, it's interesting to see now like, oh, the studio is in its toddler years
Yeah,
now. So
exactly. So it's after like this battle of questioning, is this right or wrong? When you just kind of let go,
yeah,
like that's what it is, right?
that's so
It's
funny.
it's really authentic, I guess, when you just start letting go, because that's what it has to be.
It
Who
really
you are.
is.
Yeah,
And that change through motherhood as well, like as you're finding your own identity through being a mom, through being even a studio owner and stuff like that. Like there's so much evolution, there's so much growth, there's so much even just physical, mental, energetic, emotional testing that's happening with
yeah,
the universe or with your child.
yeah.
And so learning how to navigate all of that is an interesting part. But it's yeah, it's cool to have had you here since the very beginning of EmbodiPole to witness that
Yeah,
transformation
yeah.
into the studio. What would you feel is the thing that lights you up the most when you're teaching?
Um, I don't know if that's like a hard one or an easy one because I love teaching. Like I've been teaching like as I said, like my background is in dance, so I started teaching almost right away. Like I was performing for a bit, but I started teaching, and I taught in many different settings, and I love it. And that has transformed as well with me the way I teach. But here in this space too, and because we're adults, because I had taught like what's different working with kids, but kind of this relationship, there is more like we're just like kind of in the same. It's more like a sharing than a
Yeah.
teaching. Like I'm just sharing what I've seen, what I felt when I'm dancing. I'm just sharing that. What gives me joy when I'm dancing, and I just share it with them. And then they can take that movement and make it their own and do whatever they want. Right?
Mhm.
And so I love that. I love that you just share, and then people make things of what you share and they make their own and they enjoy it. I really
Yes.
like that. And I really like that of this space because that's kind of how things work. Like, even when we start with that circle, we're just really sharing who we are,
Exactly.
like during the whole class. And I love that.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see that it's not just surface level, but it's really
Hmm.
like people are opening up. People are actually able to soften and
Hmm.
be vulnerable and
Yeah.
share from the depths of their soul instead of just being like, "Oh yeah, I work at Walmart,"
Hmm.
or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah, I think getting to know the students in that way, like with just this space, that's why it's so valuable. Like I think that's why they come different into a different space, right? They
Yeah.
know they can come here how like the way they are.
Yeah, that's awesome. What personal challenges have you faced that this work helped you navigate?
I feel like in my life, like I'm not, it's hard for me to separate like who I am to things that I do. So in all of my practice, like in my work right now that I'm very passionate about it as a perinatal support worker, when I was an active doula, and here, and the pole has been with me since I started. It was years ago. And as we were talking about, like first it meant different things to me, like the goals that I wanted. And then when I moved here, when COVID happened, that was a big thing. Like the pole helped me a lot, movement, I would say. Um, Having the practice, like having the body as like a tool to heal.
Yeah, you mentioned you came to Canada with, 2 suitcases and a
Yeah,
pole.
exactly.
So, what was the reason why you brought your pole with
It has evolved with me and it seems that I am. The first time when I started pole, I was also going through a breakup. So that was one. And I met community there doing pole. I became more confident. So that was like the first time, right? Because it just follows me. Then I came here. COVID happened. I was away. I used my pole. It became more like a body practice, like just to flow when I was feeling sad, lonely. So it helped me a lot there. And then from Vancouver, where I already had a community and I was had chosen family there. And then when I moved here to Ottawa, finding this place helped me a lot. So this was like the first place other than my home in Ottawa where I could come and feel that I had a community, that I had a place to go.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I think in my whole life, Paul has been with me in different versions of myself. And we go through challenges in life, and Paul has witnessed that. So, yeah, maybe not doing the acrobatics that I did before, but here as being the space where I can move and find that like kind of healing element, that medicine that we need. And this is a place where I can do it. So,
Mm.
so I guess the outside world is less terrible when you have a place like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you find it comparable from doula work and teaching here and just holding space for women?
Yeah, I find that there's like I mirror that a lot. It's like the same for me as a doula, as a birth doula. When you hold space, you're holding space, you're holding that presence to allow that birthing woman to really let go, to embody this very primal like force and let go. And you have to be that present that sustains. You don't lead anything.
Mm.
You're just there for her community, for their community to be there and to just let that happen. And I feel it's the same here, even when we were talking about the circle. Even in this chat, when people come, they can come, as you say, like softly or vulnerable or in laughter. And that's a moment where there's a certain release. It can happen anything, whatever that conversation is. And then in movement, you're just there as a presence to create a safe a safe space so they feel they can listen to what is there in their body and to explore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing of just holding presence for this to grow, to be, to feel this wild
Yeah.
have that we all have inside.
And how would you differentiate having a birth doula to just having a supportive partner?
I mean, even some like if they have a supporting partner, the thing is they don't teach us about birth while we grow up. Like anything. We don't know anything. We just, even we see just pictures or in the movies like this, and water comes out, and then hospital, and then baby, right? So it's, I think a partner can be a doula. Well, like a doula holds space, can hold space for both, I would say. But for me, what I used to do before the birth was talking to both of them. So they know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
When you know what's going to happen, like, then you're not as scared because you know what's going to happen.
Right.
And they just don't tell us what's going to happen. So I think understanding what happens in your body, like what is it that's moving? What does baby want to do? What is it that happens? Like what is it that dilates? If your partner also knows, he'll be able to support in a different way. So I think as doulas, we also do that. We just share information, share the experiences that we've had with other births. So we share that with you and your partner, if that's the person that's going to be with you, and kind of become stronger. And then in that moment, you're there also to hold space, kind of just like share. You're also not leading, you're holding space for what they agreed they want.
Right. Yeah, because I guess too, there could be some partners that don't necessarily know how to hold space during that time because they're panicking or they're freaking out about something. So it's
And when you hold space, they can also be, maybe they can support more, like, what do you need? Even
yeah,
for them to feel they can ask. Like, you also be vulnerable with that person.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
to be scared. It's okay.
and it's okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so interesting to like birth is such a cool concept to me. And the thing is too, like before having kids, I think before getting pregnant, I didn't even know there was a placenta.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard the word placenta, but I was like, I don't really know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you never see this in movies or in anything, right? So it's learning about the birth process. I was like, oh, there's a whole organ that we birth after the birth of the child.
Which is amazing, actually. I also find it very beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I meant when I said they don't teach us about it, right? So it's, of course, it's hard for the people to support you, no? And I've had that also with the sound of birth, right? We're not used to the sound of birth anymore, and it's very it's loud and it's very intense.
Yeah.
But you need that sound to come out, right? You can't shut down. You have to let it go. And then people, if we hear that, we're like scared, like something is wrong, something happens. No, this is what's happening, right? It's birth. That's what happened. So yeah, it's about, we're not used to when it goes a lot to the hospital, so we don't hear it, we don't see it.
Yeah.
We don't know. And as you said about the placenta, yeah, I have clients when I start, they don't know what dilates. They know something, but not really what. What is it there and why?
Yeah.
And what does it need to dilate? What is going on all inside, right? And I think it's knowing just gives you a different sense of how powerful your body is, right? It's so powerful.
Well, that's it. And like going back to the voice and making sound, that's so important during birth too. Because I remember in both of my births, I was like, there's no way in hell I can hold this in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just needs to come out. And also a lot of the research I was doing before was saying like, oh, open mouth, open fanny. So it's just the more you can actually open physically your mouth and make sound, this is connected to the womb. And this means that the baby is going to come out a lot easier if there is expansion in the body, if there is that vagus nerve is connected to your voice and to your womb. So if that's more relaxed, more just open, then the baby's going to flow out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and also because we are one whole thing. We're not separated.
Exactly.
Not a womb and then here is like your voice or your throat. No, we are, right? And you explained it like very well. I can't say more about that, but yeah, it is. We are a whole body, and when you birth, your whole body is birthing.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, because those noises were. I've never made those noises in my life before.
I don't think you can. That's the thing, right?
I can't recreate it.
Nobody can recreate those. So
No.
yeah, it's just that because it's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so interesting too because the womb is related to so many different things in our lives in terms of energetically. And like the womb is where our power lives. This is our life force energy. This is where we not only birth babies, but we birth studios.
Exactly.
And we birth other projects and creative ideas and things like that. But tapping into that, and I feel like having a lot of issues with the womb tends to create more friction and more like there's physical pain, or I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, well, I think even it again, as we talked about knowing about birth, when you also start like knowing a little bit more about your womb. How is it, where it is, why I feel this, like talking about, for example, the menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
When you get to understand it, you understand yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And you become more compassionate to yourself as well. Right. Oh, that's why I was so sad. Like, that's why I didn't feel I could do that day. Right. Because we are that cycle, like, too. So I think it's about also just knowing and exploring, and then you can do lots of things with that, right? Because then you recognize how strong that is in you, right? Here, for example, in movement, I do think that this, like, kind of being present for me and letting go and dancing just with pleasure without that thought of what movement looks pretty, or, like, more in your inner side. For me, it comes from there. There's definitely this, like, a force or like a roar, I feel it, that goes all throughout your body, and then it puts everything together, right? And I think that's when the magic happens, when you can actually let go, feel it. But it comes from there. For me, that would be the center where it all flourishes, grows. Yeah.
Yeah, because even if you don't even have a womb, this energetic center is still there.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So if, any women with hysterectomies or partial or anything like that, like this, you can still tap into this powerful center and still create from there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's said to be that men also have a womb center. I think it's called the Hera.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like the energetic.
The energetic center,
And
yeah.
one of the things I didn't imagine when I started here was that I was going to do that series, the first series that we did, remember?
The Sacred Flow?
That was that the first name it had?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gone through a lot of names.
Yeah, that's why I was looking for the first one. But yeah, so for me, that was one of the challenges, for example, here was when the first time that we were talking about this and kind of the menstrual side. I don't know why we had that conversation, maybe about the womb, that had this idea of had this series of 4. And then the first one that I did, because I had done it differently, not in a studio where we necessarily have to use the poles or whatever. So for me, that was a challenge. Like, how do we put this together? So now, and as also because I think the studio is in a different place, and I've learned more here, right? I've really learned from that structure of the circle of how to be holding space throughout the class. And I think even now it would be different to do that class. But back then I didn't have that so clear. So how to put together this knowledge of the womb, but also the things that the power that it has, but what is it that you want to share about the cycle, and then put it together with movement. And I think as the series has changed names, I've also learned how I feel that in my body to be able to share it differently.
Right.
Also doing the womb portal with you, you also have a lot of that voice, like, kind of, you do have that, and I love to hear that when you say that. So it opens kind of different. I'm just more curious about other things that I didn't put that much attention before.
Right.
Doing that womb portal, for example.
Yeah, the next time we do a womb portal, I really want to bring in that voice element.
Yeah.
More of the voice element.
Yeah.
There was a little bit,
Yeah.
but more of that voice-womb connection.
And because there's so much to discover, I like this also, the movement that comes even from the hips.
Yes.
We did a little bit. There's so much to explore, right?
Yeah.
How coming from there, you can really feel that transforming into movement.
And it's letting the body lead. It's not moving in a way that looks a certain way. It's really, how can we let our hips, our womb, lead our movement through this practice and express how she's feeling.
Yeah. Which is, it's, for me, that's also kind of like the wild, our wild.
It is.
Right?
It really is. Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to, now that we're talking about that I want to thank you for that, because I would never thought that, because I I was very passionate about the menstrual cycle. Like I go through phases. I'm still am, but then now I'm just more curious about this part than I wasn't before. And I'm like, oh, now perimenopause. Now I'm interested in that too.
Yeah.
But that this cycle and how I just related to nature, how connected we are to nature, and in general, like this magic of the cycle and how we can be compassionate to ourselves, but that you actually heard that and you're like, oh, let's make that a series, right?
Yeah, it's definitely been tricky finding the right type of way to structure that. I feel like we've gone through a lot of trial and error, see what works, what doesn't. And then, because I remember running my 4-week Wild Woman series, and that was really good. I love that series, but I was like, okay, the womb stuff is more you. I'll let you do more of the stuff. But yeah, the way I can't remember what we had done specifically in the class now, but it was a lot of just tapping into who our wild woman is. So it's following life through our cycle, listening to our menstrual cycle. And then it was the voice womb connection. That was the second one. So we made some noise. We moved through different parts of our body. And I think the last one was the creatrix. So how can we tap into our womb as the creative center and becoming the creatrix of our own life and really moving in, like, yeah, creating the life that we desire and not just wishing for it or dreaming about it, but how can we actually make it happen? And that's kind of the whole premise of, this podcast, the studio, like everything is really, how can we create the life that we desire and go for it?
Yeah.
It's giving us the courage to go for it.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think that's I see it. I do see it. After the first, like probably there's 2 times that we ran that. No, because I love hearing your experience about how you share this of the woman, like the woman, because that was the name it had at the end, right?
Yeah, the wild woman.
The wild woman. Okay. No, I really like hearing that part. I think it's you really also blend like that in movement and in life. So it's interesting to hear. I remember from the first one, I took a lot of information because I realized I was giving a lot of information. But still, what was interesting is after like the second time that I gave some, but a bit less, I think it was 2 people that then after said, oh, like I learned so much. But way after, I'm like, well, I had no idea. Because I'm also sometimes, I guess that's another challenge of being coach. You don't know.
Exactly.
Finish the class and sometimes you know, sometimes you have no idea. Did they like it? Did they not? Are they interested? Will they continue this journey?
Yeah.
So I heard a couple that did. So even just that seed of being curious of that, of your body, of the womb, of what that just putting that seed there, I think even that if you did that in 4 weeks, it's more than enough. Because I feel that it's also a very personal journey.
Yes.
For me, it was because when I started getting into it, I had no relationship, not even with my menstrual cycle. I didn't have it. It was something that happened and I'm like, oh, and then I'm moody. I'm not, that's it. Right. But then when I made it something as part of my life, that was also a whole journey that I guess, like Paul, it just follows you to different versions of yourself, of what you're experiencing in the moment. But yeah, I think it does say when you do start being curious of your body, of what's happening, and you tap into those, or you're able to let go and discover, I think you can discover pleasure, like these things that bring you joy. And also it does relate to your relationships, like the relationship with yourself, with your body. It does say, like, it just help, or at least makes you understand why you relate in what way with others.
Yeah, because then you know what you like, what you dislike, what your boundaries are, how to not let people overstep them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a huge thing. When would you say you connected to your menstrual cycle?
So it was also kind of around COVID, probably a bit after, but it was still kind of those, those times.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit after where things still not normal. I love workshops. I still do. I get curious about some things, and then I want to always do workshops of this and that. But COVID is what it started, because it became so easy to connect, and have a workshop in somewhere else in the world. So I used to follow this person that talked about the menstrual cycle, and then I'm like, oh, now I have time, and I can connect. So I did the first one like that, and then I was surprised how not disconnected I was to something that was so me. Because I always thought I'm kind of an embodied person. Like I wanted to be a dancer because I feel connected to my body, but then I realized I'm actually not. I was not that connected. And it came because of, this culture of, there's a lot of taboo. I guess there's some cultures more open than others. Mine is not. So nobody really told me anything. Like, the most I knew is, okay, just put a pad, clean it this way, be clean, put it here. Also with it's clean if you like put it away, hide it. So understanding that says a lot. Like, when you hide yourself, it's also not only hiding that, it's hiding a lot of things that happen to women. No, having a womb, that's when it's one of many things start. You start to hide yourself to be quiet. Don't say that you're on your period, right? Like, if you go and buy pads in Mexico, they put them in a black bag so nobody knows. So those kind of things that can seem like, something that happens, it's actually a lot, because it's saying a lot of your body, of how
Shameful.
be shameful of your body, hide
Yeah.
this, right? So,
Yeah.
so after this workshop, I've discovered how much it did have an impact in me, in my sexuality, even, like, and how, like, I was so not, well, why don't you know this? Like, why? It just having that information just gives you also more autonomy that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's also, I didn't know before, I think before trying to have kids, like, I didn't know that there was only a certain amount of time during the month, the menstrual cycle, that you could get pregnant.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was, it's like, I was on the pill for 15 plus years. And during that time, I was like, oh, I can't miss a single one, otherwise I'm going to get pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really, eye-opening when I think the first book I had read was Beyond the Pill by, what's her name, Jolene Brighton.
I
And
think you have it.
yeah, I have it here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that opened my eyes to a lot of different teachings of, like, oh, it's actually, you can, the menstrual cycle and how the pill really affects your health and your body.
And things that they still don't say nothing about it.
No, they
Like,
really don't.
Yeah.
Because they want that money.
Exactly. No, for
It
sure.
really
Right?
is, yeah.
I also stopped the pill after that.
Yeah.
Because then, knowing that I wasn't ovulating, and ovulating is a sign of health.
Yeah.
Right? So for this amount of years, right? So it's like, that's crazy, because you're stopping your body to do something where you can still, if you don't want to have kids, you have other options as well.
Exactly.
But anyway, I know that's another topic, but it is, it was just very eye-opening to all of these things. And what does it mean to know? No, it takes autonomy to many other, like, decisions.
Well, that's it. And, like, growing up, I remember, like, I started my period when I was 10. And so I went to see my mom. She's like, oh, congratulations, you're a woman now. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm 10. Like, I'm a child.
Exactly. Exactly. That idea that you become a woman, and no, you're still a girl.
Yeah, I'm still a little girl who
Yeah.
doesn't know
Yeah.
what this means, what this journey's going to look like.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, I was taught about using pads, but not, like, I didn't use tampons. I think I learned how to use a tampon by myself, and I stuck it in, like, halfway in, and I was like, is this how it works? And then I was like, why does this hurt?
Yeah. Yeah. No, the first tampon I used, I was like older, and because I was studying dance, and I remember I asked one of my friends. I'm like, "Oh, we have a dance, like a perform. Like I think I need to use a tampon, and I've never worn one before. Oh, it's easy. Like, are you a virgin? I'm like, no. Well, wherever they put it in, that's where your tampon goes, right? So imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the information that we had instead of knowing by yourself. So, but yeah, that's my next like kind of dream. I want to give workshops for moms and their kids and their girls before they have like just to kind of walk this
Mm-hmm.
menstrual journey together, and that instead of being you're a woman or just hide it, like that it's actually like a moment together where they feel more connected as mom and
Yeah.
daughter and to share something. So yeah.
I love that because I'm like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I have a daughter, so
Mm.
like when she grows up, like she's seen me change my
Yeah.
diva cup, and
Which
she
is
gets right in
yeah.
there, and she's like, "What's that?"
Which is the first step actually to
She's 3.
normalize what's happening. Just normalize.
Exactly.
That's it. No more. But yeah.
It's like both my
Yeah.
kids are like right up in my junk, and they're like, "Mom, what's that? You're bleeding. Are you okay? Do you have a bobo?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm fine." And then you see my son, he's like, "Ew!" I was like, "Dude, just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
You just wait." But yeah, it's creating that relationship to not be shameful around our bleed and our monthly cycles, and how do I actually teach my daughter and my son
Mhm.
about all of this, and even just teaching the phases, because I only learned about the phases like in the last 5-6 years or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And really recognizing that, our bodies are different in
Mm.
each phase,
Mm.
and they act so differently. And like the other day I was like full luteal. I was like really sad, really emotional.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I'm on day 21 or whatever it was. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I when you start like noticing like certain behaviors at a certain time, it does. It makes you just understand yourself more. Like you don't have to be angry or or push yourself to do
Exactly.
things when it's just maybe not the moment right now, right?
Yeah.
Or to not like just make crazy decisions, at this time where you're not in the moment. Maybe just wait, like plan, but
Mhm.
then just wait till you're in a different phase to actually put it out there or like commit.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
those things.
Well, that was it. It's like when I was ovulating, I created the retreat. I was like, let's go. I'm going to do it from beginning to end, all of the things, execute everything. I did the website, I did
Yeah, yeah.
everything in like the schedule, the budget in like 2 days. I was on fire. And then later on, it's like, okay, let's work with
Yeah.
how I'm
It's
feeling in the
good to
moment.
use those moments, right? To get it out there, but then
Yeah,
just don't commit and just have this wait till your next 2 phases to see, okay, when is the good moment? Like, just this other,
exactly.
to put it out there. Yeah. It's a different way, I think, of of living in a way. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you decide you want to connect to that part of yours of as a cycle, and if you don't have cycles anymore, still you can connect to that.
Right.
So that's important also to know. And yeah, it's how we are, like we mirror the nature, right? Like the seasons too. So
That's it.
mm.
And do you have any words of advice for our listeners who maybe their cycle is irregular, or there's a lot of pain with their cycles, or they're still, trying to navigate getting off the pill and seeing
um
anything like that?
Well, everything is very unique and personal because we are different as bodies. But for me, I know there's apps where you can have your information. I do recommend to write it down and to put colors and drawings on it, especially if it's not regular, because you're going to find a pattern, like, like in the circle with the days,
Mm-hmm.
and you can make your own every month. Say that's a nice, it's just with our lives right now and work and everything so moving, I think it's harder for people to do it that way. But definitely if you do, like, it's kind of like a writing practice. If you have 5 minutes every day just to do some colors and some words of how your day is doing today, you're going to find patterns. And that is like, doesn't matter if you have cycles or not. And I think when you see it, again, it brings more compassion to yourself. Oh, like every time in this moment, I am just more sensitive. So maybe those days, like depending where you work, or maybe there's this friend that maybe just calls you for more that type of support. Maybe those days are not the days because I'm more sensitive. So maybe I'll just support her.
Right. And I
So
guess stress
kind of
plays a big
those
part in that
those
too.
things. Yeah.
Like food and
Yeah.
sleep. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and of course, like nourishing it, like it just seems like this whole same rule of everything, like exercise, moving your body, eating well, water. But it is true.
It is true. Oh my God. Yeah.
It is true, and you automatically feel that in your body. And then with the pain, I think we also normalize pain a lot, and we shouldn't have pain. We have pain because of the way we eat, and we have pain for the stress, the level of stress that we carry. Society now has made life too crazy, and so we feel it here.
Well, and a lot of doctors also
Yeah.
told us, oh, it's
Yeah.
all in your head.
Yeah, too.
Or it's not valid. Right.
Yeah, or just take a pill every time you feel this.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you don't even know. Oh, so then you don't even know when.
Well, that's
When
it.
is it? Why is it? Where is it exactly? So I do think there's some teas that help. Like if a couple of days before, tea with ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, like this. Also the milk, how do you call it? The golden milk too, with turmeric. They
Okay,
do
yeah, yeah.
kind of help if you start preparing the days before and that days, just because ginger and cinnamon warm your uterus, and a warm uterus is more, it's a healthy uterus.
Yeah.
So
Like heat pads and
yeah,
stuff too.
yeah.
Just keeping your body warm.
Mhm.
What it needs to. And bone broth. I love
Yeah.
bone broth.
And it's good.
And it's so
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
super nourishing.
As we come to a close, do you have an embodiment practice that you want to share with our listeners?
I like to massage myself.
Mm.
I especially like to massage my feet and my legs, sometimes in the morning. Yeah, touch yourself, like squeeze yourself. Don't be scared about squeezing yourself. Yeah.
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 I love that. Thank you so much for coming on
No,
here.
thank you for having me.
And own your energy. If you felt even just a little glimmer inside of your body, subscribe and send this episode to a woman you know that needs to feel this too.